Hello, all right, this video is going to do a deep dive and explanation of how to use our GPA calculator specifically for academic probation, but this calculator can definitely come in handy for any student. Let's say your advisee comes in and they want to get a scholarship or they need to, stay eligible for a scholarship. You could totally use this for any GPA. We're going to talk about that 2.0 for good standing, which is the target GPA you need to calculate for every academic probation student as you're meeting with them to help them stay on track for that road to good standing. This calculator is available through Canvas, so you should have grabbed it from the Canvas shell as you're watching this video, but it's also available in our probation document library that you can access through our Advising Hub website. All right, let's go. All right, so when you first open up this calculator, there's a few different tabs. This first tab you might recognize because it is the one that Frank created when we had all of that SU going on. And so I went ahead and added it as a tab in here because it's so useful even without SU happening, because it's going to give you a really good projection of that student's term GPA with the grades, they're kind of telling you, or with the grades that you're seeing from the progress reports coming back for those students. And so that's kind of the first tab. Ooh, here, let me move it down so you can see that. Perfect. Then the second tab is going to be the actual target GPA calculator. And so this is what you definitely need to do for every student. Even if it's too early to really know what their grades are going to turn out, you can still use this. And then these tabs are kind of extra calculators that you won't actually need, but they're kind of there for a reference. Everything on this calculator, the spreadsheet, is locked unless it's yellow. So you only need to worry about filling in the boxes that are yellow. Otherwise, you can't even click on it, so you don't have to worry about messing up any of the functions and the equations that are in here. All you need to do is type in what you need in the yellow boxes. So let's kind of start with this hypothetical student. Let's say you pull their transcript from URSA. That's where you're going to find quality points, and we of course divide quality points by the GPA hours. Don't use the earned hours or the total, it's the GPA hours to get a GPA. And so let's say they have 65 quality points and they have taken 45 GPA hours. So they have a GPA of a 1.44. And so the next thing that we need to know is how many credits they're taking this semester. And you can also use this to kind of project, okay, at the end of the semester, we're preparing for next semester. But for whatever semester you're doing, how many credits are they going to take that we're expecting to count as a GPA hour? Keep in mind, GPA hours don't include things like incompletes. They don't include S, S+, U, W's, so it's just those letter graded courses. So let's say, this student is taking 13 credits. So then the last thing that you need to fill out is the cumulative GPA that you're hoping for. So we're going to do it at the 2.0 because this is a standard, probation advising appointment. Hopefully maybe the student is P1 because you can see the blue box is your target GPA that you're going to give that student. Now, of course, this is really high. So you might, couch that conversation in, okay, we're at a 1.4, so actually let's just try to get to a 1.8 in the next semester. That's a 3.0. That would put us in a good position to, reach a 2.0 the next time. It all depends on that student's standing, where they're at. But it's always good to know what is the 2.0 level. That's where we start. And just a little background on what is happening here. So GPA is quality points divided by the GPA hours, right? And so what the system is doing, it's looking and saying, okay, at the end of this semester, because we know you're taking 13 more GPA hours, you're going to have this known 58 GPA hours. Right? So then what it's doing, it's algebra, right? So it's saying, okay, we know we have 58 hours, and we know that we need X to divide it by 58 to equal a 2.0. And so it's It's multiplying 58 by 2.0 to get 116 quality points. So what this is saying is, in order for you to get a 2.0 after having 58 total hours, your existing plus the ones you're taking right now, you need a total of 116 quality points. Now we know you have 65 quality points, and so 116 minus the existing 65 means this term you need to get 51 quality points, right, to make that equation work. And so then the last thing it's doing to get the target is, again, we know we need 51 quality points. We know we're going to take 13 GPA hours, so that would be a 3.92 this term. So that's kind of a background just on the math. Again, all the equations are locked, but that's what it's doing. It's just kind of plugging and chugging in the information we know with the sort of X of the equation to come up with this target GPA. And so you kind of see how it changes all of these every time we add a different thing in. So now it's saying, okay, we know we're going to have 60 GPA hours at the end because 45 plus 15, that's 60. We know we need a 2.0. So what divided by 60 gives us a 2.0, 120. We know we have 65 quality points. How do we get to 120? The student needs to earn at least 55 quality points. Divided by their 15 hours means they need a 3.67 this term. And you can also see how much more kind of, in some ways, feasible it might feel to take that extra class, but of course you need to balance that out with what that class is, how confident the student feels, is it worth kind of that extra 3 credit load to drop it down? Maybe that's a conversation for you and the student to have. And so I do want to also show you on our term projection. So you're having this conversation, right, with this student, and they're saying, okay, you know what? Here's what I'm at 13 credits, and so you can fill this in. So first, this is actually carrying over from our target GPA. So 65, 45, 1.44. So it will always just update with the target GPA if you do that side first. And so then you can fill in the courses. Let's say they're taking, I don't know, math 120. Let's say they're taking Soc 100. Maybe they're taking like an art, LAC or something. And then let's say they are also taking, oh, I don't know, geology 100. I think that's the lab. And so now you have to put in the credits. So they have 3 credits of this math class, 3 credits of this class, 3 credits of that class. The geology lab is actually 4 credits. That gives us the 13. And then you can actually just put their grade. And you don't even have to worry about like a percentage or something. You literally can just put the letter grade because it's going to pull the math for you. So let's say they're getting a C here, maybe a B minus here, A, B here, and maybe they're just like really killing it in geology and they're getting an A. Right, so you can see it totaled up everything for us. They're going to get 38 more quality points on these 13 credits for a term GPA of a 2.92. But what it's doing down here is saying, here's their real GPA, here's their projected GPA with the grades they're telling you. We're only at a 1.78, which tracks because we knew their target GPA was a 3.92. And so, you know, they're not close to that. As a double check, let's say they actually do get an A, and like a B plus. Look how close, 3.8, still not to that 3.92, so you can kind of see how much of a climb the student might have. But as you get closer, it will, boom, they achieved over a 3.92, and their projected is a 2.02. So using these sheets together, you can really get a good sense of where your student is going to end up. Now, the last thing for the target GPA, our grade replacement, so valuable for, you know, these students, especially those going through academic probation. So with the quality points, again, we see the yellow boxes that you can fill in. And so if they're only doing, you know, 1 class for a grade replacement, let's say they're replacing an F, you can just put that in. That's fairly easy. But sometimes students take more than 1. So we have this chart down here that you can use for those grade replacements. So let's say they're actually going to do a grade replacement in, their history 100, and before they had earned a D, and it was worth 3 credits. Okay, and then they're also doing a grade replacement for that Soc, and they had earned an F, and that was worth 3 credits. So what this is doing is telling you, okay, there's 2 total classes, 6 of those credits, those GPA hours, and here's how many quality points that you're actually removing. So you need to put these numbers in. So quality points, we're removing 3 quality points because Fs don't have any quality points, and it's 6 credits they're taking. Boom. And so you can see how much that dropped it down. Like automatically, we went from needing a 3.92, yikes, to only a 3.23 with grade replacement. Now this isn't taking into account what grade they're earning necessarily in that replaced course. All this is doing is saying, okay, they had this many sort of quality points, and we take that out. So it's actually subtracting here from here to get 62 and 39. So, if we remove those from the calculation, what is their GPA? And then doing the same calculations we did up here, but with these new quality point GPA hour totals. So it really is kind of a hypothetical situation of, okay, just the fact that we got rid of those low classes and it's kind of in limbo right now, basically whatever you replace it with is going to help. Unless you replace an F with another F, then it becomes kind of a wash and a null. But this is kind of a good way to show you and show students how big of a difference selecting grade replacement classes can be. And then of course, if they were to replace, the history D with an A, well, that's going to really, do some big things. So this is not so much of a projection. It just is a benchmark to let you know how their GPA would look if we were to sort of get rid of these classes while they're in limbo and we're waiting for those new credits to come in. All right, and that is the GPA calculator. The very last thing is this credit. So let's say SU does come back around or suddenly becomes an option. What you would do is say, okay, they're going to do, let's say they're getting a D here. So we're going to remove 3 credits because that's what's in this column. And we're going to remove the 3 quality points they're currently projected to earn. And then we can kind of see what, again, happens to their projected GPA because it's taking into account anything that you type in here. All right, calculating target GPA is a key and a must for academic probation advising. We have this amazing tool. It should give you all the information that you need. It will let you see a projected GPA based on, those conversations where students go, I think I'm going to earn a B, and then maybe calculate it with a B minus just to be sure. So you'll be able to know what their projected GPA is going to be. You're going to be able to calculate that target GPA. You can factor in kind of grade replacement and really have some hopefully productive conversations with your advisees on what their goal should be to get back into good standing.